Welcome back to Trends on 3. Black fraternities and sororities were founded on college campuses starting back in 1906. They shared similar principles of service and the betterment of black men and women. They've always been an important part of black history and taken part in the fight for change and social justice. These 9 Greek letter organizations are known as the Divine Nine, members of the Panhellenic Council. 114 years after the first black fraternity and 112 years after the first black sorority was founded, they have once again stepped up to join the fight for social justice. Joining me now is Arthur Benton. He's the representative of the Alumni Council of the Chattanooga National Panhellenic Council. All right, well, first of all, thank you all so much for joining me today. And let's start. Arthur Benton, member of Phi Beta Sigma, and you are right now the representative for the local Panhellenic Council. So let's start by telling people, making this simple, who makes up the Panhellenic Council? What are we talking about when we say the Divine Nine?
So first of all, thank you for having us on your show. This is a great opportunity and a great platform. A little bit about the Divine Nine, known as the National Panhellenic Council. It was actually started on May 10th, 1930 at the campus of Howard University. The PAN is made up of 9 Greek letter organizations. You have the members of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternities Incorporated, the ladies Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, and Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. So we make up the Divine Nine.
And we want to just be clear that you gave them in that order because you gave them in the years that they were founded, starting with Alpha, so all the way up to Iota. All right, so let's talk about this. Guys, we are in a moment in this country unlike we've seen since the Civil Rights Movement. And we see people joining forces all over this country, whether it's athletes from different teams, and people coming together. And is this one of those moments where the Panhellenic Council says that, you know what, this is a big moment and we all need to come together as sororities and fraternities to make this change and to make this happen?
Latrice, we have always worked together, at some point in time, but now, as you say, now, it's like it's out there more, with the racial unrest and just everything that's going on. We talk about the census, we talk about voter registration and the importance of it. So we've always worked at some point together on some projects, but now we see, the need to really come together, get engaged and really go out and, tackle it and, get it out to the community.
And you talked about that, Alexia. You mentioned there were 3 areas that you all are focusing on. And I guess, let me just really quickly do this. Arthur, of course, I said was with Phi Beta Sigma. Alexia is with Delta Sigma Theta. And DeMarcus Boyce is with Kappa Alpha Psi. So, and those are the representatives we have on today. And so I want to talk about these 3 areas. If one of you all will jump in and tell me about this, that you all are focusing on, and why they are so important, and what you plan to do in these areas, how you plan to make a difference.
I'm going to start. I'm going to start with the census, because before, the virus, the COVID-19, we had started working together, planning some activities. We were going, out into the community. So with everything, coming upon us then, so it got put on hold. So we're looking to, come back together, reorganize on how to do that as far as getting it out, because a lot of the places of what we were going to do, they're closed. So we're just looking at other avenues on how to, get the word out. But we actually started on this, I think, back in January. We took some training where we became ambassadors. We had Tyler Yunt from the city of, Chattanooga to come in and train us, and also Miss Turner with the census. She's provided some training with us and a lot of, information. So we started way before then, but now, like you said, we had that little pause. So now, we're getting back together again to look at how we can move forward as far as, with the census. And of course, that deadline has been extended to October the 31st, but there's still a lot of work to get done because, we still have a lot of people that have not, submitted, completed that information.
And we want them counted for a number of reasons because that's so important when it comes to funding, when it comes
Right.
to resources, everything. And that's why people have got to realize how important that census is. Okay, let's talk about some of those other areas we're talking about, guys. Anybody want to jump in? Talking about social justice, talking about voter registration, and also education as well.
So when it comes down to the other areas, voter education and social justice, those are areas that have always been important for our member organizations and within our council. But right now, with everything that's going on in society, there's a highlighted sense of awareness about these issues. It's a pretty big election year with where we see higher participation rates, and you have a census going on. So it just really seemed like really important that, given the COVID kind of requiring us to kind of innovate a little bit, that we really step up and try to make some type of concerted collective effort to make sure that this information is still getting out to people, because these are opportunities that coalesce like this very rarely, and it's a really good opportunity for us to get this information out to the community and really educate them on such important issues going on right now.
And it really is. And just kind of piggybacking on this and talking about the election, it's a huge election this year. We're talking about, we were already seeing in primaries and different things around the country, elections around the country, there's been record voter turnout so far. And people are talking about it could be voting levels of the levels of 2008. So we're talking about, again, but getting people of color out to make sure they're properly registered, to make sure they're educated about the process and they understand how that works. So that's so important. And Arthur, you want to wrap up on anything else about that?
So also, we're doing police and social justice.
Right.
We have a lot of Greeks and other people that are on the front lines daily that can see the ins out of how protesting works. But sometimes we fail to give the voice of the people that are protesting. So the pain is trying to give the opportunity for those to let the world know and let the city of Chattanooga know their voices on both sides of the field. It's kind of hard that we only hear one part of the movement, but we want to give a platform for both organizations, the ones that are protesting and the ones that are not protesting, to give their vote, to give their voice and let the world that knows what goes on, how to protest, the reason why they're protesting, or some certain things that they want to make known here and make difference here in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
All right. And that's so important because, like you said, they are crying out. They are not going to be silenced right now. And like you said, it's either this is a time to step up and to get involved, and as you all say, address the issues that are facing our communities of color. And a lot of times I'll wrap up by saying this, and I'll let anyone wrap up in a way. People say a lot of times the only thing they know about sororities and fraternities, they see us wearing our colors, they see us throwing up our signs and social events. But this is what, at this point, when we get out of college, what it's all about, the work. Anybody want to wrap up on that?
Yeah, absolutely. You spend less time as an undergraduate than you do as a graduate member within our council. And with that, there is a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that typically the public isn't aware of. Because, when you get off the campus, we have our jobs, we have our careers, we have our families, that we're using our organizations to create a better world for those entities and for those people who are important to us. And here in the city of Chattanooga, we all love our city. We all love the 423. But it's really important that we just continue that fight. We continue that effort here on the local level and give people some sense of empowerment through our organizations.
Well, I'll tell you, as I was telling Arthur before, we'll continue to follow this as you all set up these events and continue to do this. And we'll get together again and talk about what's being done, how you're getting out there in the community, and how you're helping to make a difference in the community, because there's a lot going to be happening leading up, of course, to the election and, of course, following the death of Mr. Floyd and others as well. So I just want to say thank you to each of you for coming on today and spending some time with us. Important work to be done. And it's just wonderful. I think a lot of people to see. And as you said, Alexia, you all have been working together before a lot, but again, it's really important right now with what's going on. So we'll continue to follow what the PAN is doing and making a difference in this community to continue getting the word out. Thank you so much for your time today. I do appreciate it.